Hi guys, this is Ranjit and let's do a Q&A session. Just earlier this morning I asked you guys and I got quite a few questions, so I selected about 15 different questions and I'll answer them in this Q&A. Okay, the first question that I got was from Naveen and he's asking, what are your thoughts on the Geo Fibre priced around rupees 700 to about 10,000 rupees? Yes, Geo just announced the Geo Fibre will be rolling out commercially from September onwards, and the base pricing is 700 rupees and it'll go all the way up to 10,000 rupees per month. That is for the gigabit connection. We don't have other finer details, but even for the base variant, that is for 700 rupees, it'll just not internet connection over Geo Fibre. You'll also have telephone connectivity, unlimited calls and stuff, and also you'll also be getting cable with that one. So frankly speaking, yes, if you bundle everything like the phone connection and your internet connection as well as cable for 700 rupees, then it looks fine. But if you're a person like me who does not care about the cable and the telephone line, then I would say sort of a casual user, then just 700 rupees for the internet might be slightly on the expensive side, because at least here in Hyderabad we have other providers that just provide pure internet connectivity, and their base plans start at about 400 rupees. So yes, slight premium, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes, and if Geo in the future just offers internet connectivity at a lower price point, that'll be interesting to see. Okay, let's move to the next one. This is by Jagdish Rahul. He's asking, is the Note 10 a worthy upgrade for premium price, or should I wait for the Galaxy S11? Thoughts on the Pixel 4 leaks? Jagdish, yes. Again, I posted a video about the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus just last week. Again, watch that video for my thoughts. And yes, I did feel that this time the Note 10 Plus pricing is slightly on the higher side. It's almost 80,000 rupees in India. So definitely Samsung is charging quite a bit of premium, because if you notice, the Note 9 last year was priced for 66 or 67,000 rupees if I recall. So definitely a huge price bump, and I would say the successor to the Note 9 is not the Note 10 but the Note 10 Plus. In fact, I would say the Note 10 should have been named as Note 9 minus in my frank opinion. And yes, I'm excited towards the Pixel 4 and the leaks that we are seeing. Let's see what Google does. So let's move to the next one, and this is from Earning Feed. He says, will the Realme X 8GB RAM be good for long-term usage for at least 3 years? Play PUBG games a lot, he says, because its processor and battery is slightly lower than the Redmi K20. Or should I wait for the K20 discount up to about 20,000? I can wait about 3 months for price decrease. Yes, I would say if you can wait, I feel the Redmi K20 officially they might not drop the price, but they might come with a special offer like an Independence or whatever, Diwali offer or something. And in those periods, it might come down to about 20,000. And yes, if you can wait for about 3 months, yes, technically speaking, if price is not a criteria, I would say, then yes, the K20 is better than the Realme X. In fact, in terms of camera also, I feel the K20 is better. But again, you have to wait and see when those offer comes. So anyways, I hope that helps you. This is the next one. This is by Unwrap Webs, Impulse, sorry. Why do companies install a custom skin or a stock Android when people prefer the later? What benefits do the companies get by this? Do you think phones will sell much more if they offered stock Android over custom skin? I'll give you my opinion about this, and I also used to always think about this. If these vendors offered stock Android, they would sell a lot. But again, the stock Android, pure Android experience is what is sought out after geeks like us, and we are less than 4 or 5% of the market, because I keep asking a lot of cousins of whenever people I meet what phone they use and why do they like a particular phone. And trust me guys, I have heard this from some users who were using a Vivo phone, and they categorically asked me what's the next Vivo phone they wanted. And when I asked them what do they really like about it, they said that obviously the cameras are good on Vivo, and in fact they like the UI. strange. So it's that some people get used to a particular UI, the layout and stuff, and they prefer that. That is, again, I've noticed a lot with some of my cousins who are business users. They specifically tell me they only want a Samsung phone, and I asked them why. They told me they tried some other Android skins and stuff, but they prefer what Samsung offers. For example, the call history, the way you can dial by swipe or a message. So it's that they get used to these skins and they don't want to change to a newer skin. That is why I feel these vendors, for example, Samsung with the TouchWiz, the new, it's not One UI, it's a lot more refined, but they stick to their layouts, what they're doing. Same case with Vivo, which is very radical. You and me will not like it. We prefer, what do you say, stock Android. But some of the users who are used to those particular brand like what the skin they are offering. Strange, but this is the hard truth, guys. Anyways, let's move to the next one. This is by Mr. Pandukati. He's asking, Oppo R17 Pro is currently available at 27,000. So what are your thoughts about it? Is it worth buying it considering that it has super VOOC and variable aperture camera and TOF camera and the build quality? When are you unboxing the Note 10 Plus? Note 10 Plus, I still haven't got the review on it, guys. So let's see. Hopefully, I should get it this month. But regarding the Oppo R17 Pro, now it's sort of old. What do you say, Mr. Pandu? It came almost last year. And yes, I do agree that the cameras on that one were very good. It had that variable aperture and also that super fast charging. It charges really fast. But now at 27,000 rupees, I feel you have much better options, much more powerful processor phones. You can get the Redmi K20 Pro or even the Zenfone, Asus 6Z and stuff close to that price point. So yes, this phone is not bad, the Oppo's R17 Pro. But at 27,000 rupees, now you have much faster processors, latest processors, and they are actually really good. So I feel it's a tough sell still. Yes, the camera is really good. You have that super VOOC. But again, I would prefer new modern 855 SoC that you're getting in that price point rather than the R17 Pro. Now let's move to the next one. This is by Moshin. Which one is the best to buy, iPhone 10 or 10R? And going to buy the Apple first. I think so. He's saying that this will be his first Apple's phone. So confused, or is it better to pre-order the Note 10 Plus? Which one is the best, Note 10 Plus or the iPhone 10? I would say this is a similar question that I get a lot from my relatives also when they meet cousins and stuff. They keep asking me this. And I would say the answer is not very clear. I would say if you haven't ever used an iPhone, go to a store. Most of the phones stores have it on display. Play around with iOS for about 20-25 minutes. Do you like that? If you like iOS, then I would say the iPhone 10 is old, but the 10R is a very good value smartphone. Yes, obviously the Note 10 Plus is going to be slightly better because it's newer and stuff. But again, I would say the iPhones age a lot better. So if you're going to hold this phone for more than 3 years, then yes, the iPhone 10R would age a lot better than the Note 10 Plus. But again, the Note 10 Plus is again a great device. If you are someone who's going to use Android and you think that the S Pen will help you a lot. So not a clear answer. So decide based on your requirements. What are your requirements? Do you think that you will use the S Pen? Then you can go with the Note 10 Plus or go to the store, play around with iOS because it's a love and hate relationship. Some people love the simplicity of iOS. Some feel that it's actually too boring. So again, I can't give you an answer. You have to decide it by yourself. Let's move to the next one. This is by Mr. Ayushman. He's asking, is it worth buying any phone now as 5G is very near? I'll talk about the Indian scenario. 5G is nowhere near as of now in India. Right now, the licenses also haven't come out. Eventually, it will come out in about 2020. But realistic 5G, what do you say, implementations and rollouts or whatever will start only around 2021. And I don't want to name the source. I've got this data from a very big telecom guy. So again, 5G as of now in India is nowhere near. Realistically, I would say it's around 2020, early 2021 in India. And by that time, 5G devices will also become very affordable. Right now, if you notice, there are some 5G devices not launched in India, but even in US, those are priced significantly higher because right now 5G is still evolving.
Anyways, let's move to the next one. This is by Ankit. He's asking, Realme is going to launch the Realme 5 series on August 20th, he says, officially confirmed on Twitter. Don't you think it's too early, as they launched the Realme 3 and the 3 Pro just a few months ago, only for 4 cameras? There's no major upgrade as teasers show, with the notch and the rear fingerprint scanner. Yes, I do feel Realme is just launching too many devices too quickly, in my frank opinion. Yes, the Realme 5 series will also be launching, hearing a lot of rumors. This is supposed to be a camera-centric smartphone. Let's see. But yeah, I do feel that Realme is launching a lot of smartphones. Almost every month, if you look at it, they are launching a new phone. And the Realme X came just last month. Now this Realme 5 is coming. Prior to that, the Realme 3 Pro. And in fact, if you look at it, the Realme X and the Realme 3 Pro are very similar. I would say the Realme X is just the premium version of the Realme 3 Pro. So yeah, they are launching a lot of smartphones, and I hope they slow down the frequency. Anyways, this is the next question. This is by Shreyas. He's asking, he's confused about a couple of phones. He says between these, the Realme 3, Redmi Note 7S, Samsung M20, Asus Max Pro M2. I would say overall, if camera is your highest concern, then definitely the Redmi Note 7S would be my pick. But again, it has that MIUI and that ad situation, so be aware of that. If you're okay with that, you can definitely go with the Redmi Note 7S. And the next two, I would say I'm sort of neutral, is if you really want that stock Android experience, then you can go with the Asus Max Pro M2. That's also available about 10,000. And the Realme 3 is also actually pretty good. The camera was actually pretty good on the Realme 3. But in terms of all of these, I would say my first pick would be the 7S because of the camera. Samsung M20, I would not recommend that because among all these, I would say that's the weakest because of the SoC that is used on it. For example, if you do a lot of heavy gaming and stuff, you might not be able to set the games at highest settings and stuff. So, and also the M20, when you stress it while gaming, heats up the most. Anyways, let's move to the next. This is by Taurus. He's saying, Hi Ranjit, I appreciate your reply to me on how good the OnePlus is over the long term. It was even more convincing when others are chipping in how good the software support is even for the OnePlus 3 users. It does beg me to question, what about other manufacturers? Yes, I would say that is the biggest advantage that OnePlus is having right now, and that is Oxygen OS. And they continue to give updates to even older phones. For example, just about 4 or 5 months ago, I did a re-review with the OnePlus 5T with one of my cousins who is actually using and still very happy. And many users have reported that, yes, they are using older devices like OnePlus 5 also, and they're very happy. Still, the performance is very good. And this all boils down to Oxygen OS, how close it is to stock Android, and it's a very fast UI. So I feel, yes, OnePlus in that department has done a very good job, I would say. And I hope other manufacturers also emulate this. Asus with the new UI, which is very close to stock with the 6Z, is trying to do that. And I hope even other vendors do that, because end of the day, these days, the hardware that you're getting, for example, let's say everybody's now jumping to the Snapdragon 710, 730 in the mid-range. So what's the big differentiator? That's the software. So I hope others also move out, give faster updates, keep it close to stock Android. And I hope if Asus launches the next device, some of you are asking about Max Pro M3, I don't know about it, but if they do launch it, I hope they launch it with the new UI that is used on this 6Z and stick to their update situation, because that's the problem with Asus. Though they launched the phones with whatever, almost close to stock Android, but in software updates, they are lacking a little bit. They do update, but it comes out, they promise updates will come in 2 months, but it comes in about 3 months, 3.5 months. So I hope other vendors also do what do you say, Oxygen OS is, OnePlus is doing with the Oxygen OS. This is by Sapphire Shakti. He's asking, best smartphone under rupees 15,000. He says priority is good camera, long-lasting battery life. Okay, this is interesting. I would say you can look at the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Again, MIUI, it has, so that ad situation is there, but the camera situation has improved drastically with the last update. I think so some of the updates that came about last month ago really improved the camera performance. In fact, in my review, I was not that happy with the camera, but now the camera is really good. Another phone that I really love, and that was strange, is the Vivo Z1 Pro. If you can live with that FunTouch OS, the battery life is excellent, even better than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. And the cameras are also actually good. In fact, I would say in the front-facing camera is better than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. And also it has that lighting modes and stuff. So these were my two picks, I would say, as of now. but both come with custom UI, and you could even say the Realme 3 Pro is a good one. It had decent performance. So these three would be my pick as of now. Let's move to the next one. This is by Prashant. He's saying, as per value of money perspective, overall, which flagship killer is purely value for money? Is it the OnePlus 7 or the K20 Pro? As you're talking about value to money performance, here I would say obviously the Redmi K20 Pro goes ahead, because for the price of about 28,000, you are getting way more hardware compared to the OnePlus 7. The OnePlus 7 is almost 33,000, and you're getting less hardware. In terms of camera, I would say that's where OnePlus goofed up royally, just having that dual camera, and the second camera is just for depth, which is of no use. You can do that stuff with software. Whereas the K20 Pro is having a much more versatile camera. It has a regular camera, then the wide angle lens, and the telephoto. Yeah, the telephoto in indoor lighting conditions does not do good, but at least you have 3 different focal lengths. That makes a lot of sense. But when it comes to software, this is also a big part. I would definitely say I prefer Oxygen OS over MIUI. So again, yes, in terms of pure hardware value, obviously the K20 Pro goes ahead. But again, it's not just the hardware. It's a combination of hardware and software. So you have to decide if MIUI is okay for you, or do you are okay paying that premium to OnePlus for that Oxygen OS. Let's move to the next one. This is by Vivek. If not a YouTuber, what would you be? Oh, if I were not a YouTuber, I would have been still into programming. I used to do a lot of programming and would have been still writing some software, apps and stuff. I don't know. So yeah, I would have been a programmer. This is by Dabrosh. He's asking, hi Ranjit, don't you think flagship devices should come out every 2 years so that people are not forced to upgrade or tempted to upgrade every year? As flagship specs are anyway supposed to easily last for 2 years. Yes, you really don't need to upgrade if you have a flagship device every year, because if you upgrade every year, the amount of improvement that you will see is very small. But once you upgrade after 2 years, you see significant improvements. And once, if you upgrade after 3 years, you see a huge improvement in the performance. So needless to say, you really don't need to upgrade every year. These manufacturers will release new phones every year because that's how they make money. Add 1 or 2 feature many times. It's a sort of a gimmick, but they just can't wait for 2 years. They have to release it every year because they need the money to run the company. But yeah, if you have a flagship, just think about it. Do you really need that new flagship when this one is doing everything that you want? So yes, as you said, I would say the best bet is to, if you buy a flagship right now, skip 1 generation and then go to the next one. Then you will see it as a true upgrade. Anyways, let's move to the next one, and this would be the last one. This is by Saket. He's asking, my question is to know a little more about your interest or say scrutiny. If you're given a chance to become a CEO of any mobile brand, so what brand will that be? And what would you like to do or change in the products or other subsections of that brand? This is a very interesting question. I never thought about this. So if I were to become a CEO of any mobile brand, I would say I would become the CEO of OnePlus right now, and I would change some of the lineups what they are doing. For example, I personally did not like what they did with the OnePlus 7. They concentrated too much on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Yes, I understand as a company they're going to make a lot more profit on the 7 Pro, but I feel at least on the OnePlus 7 they should have, in terms of camera, given a wide angle lens instead of that just a depth camera. That way, I would say it would have become a more solid competitor. Right now, yes, you have that camera, dual camera for the namesake. You have that primary camera, 48 megapixel. It makes sense. But the secondary one is just a depth. Instead of they would have given wide angle lens, it would have made a lot more sense. And yes, I would continue to invest in Oxygen OS, because that is one thing that is really making OnePlus customers stick to OnePlus. That's the biggest advantage that OnePlus does. So in the future, whenever they're launching the Pro lineup is there, the regular lineup also, I would say don't gimp it that much that now we have competition in the market with the Redmi K20 Pro, the Asus 6Z, others. So it's not like OnePlus doesn't have competition. So I hope in the future, whatever the OnePlus 70 or whatever they call, at least in the camera setup, if you're having a dual camera setup, make it a worthwhile, not just for the heck of it, for the specs, adding just a depth camera.
Anyways, guys, those were my thoughts about that one, and that comes to the end of this Q&A session. I hope you guys liked it. And guys, if you're still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.